Remember 2020 after George Floyd's murder? Tensions high, streets filled with protests, social media full of hot takes, and some employees couldn't help themselves, posting racist memes, justifying police brutality, or saying things so radioactive you need a hazmat suit to scroll past. What happened? Some of those people got fired. Now, you might cheer that, or you might think it's cancel culture run amok. But here's the key. Those were private companies making private decisions. A company looked at an employee and said, "You don't get to wear our logo while torching our brand." That's capitalism. That's brand protection. That's HR showing a little more spine than usual. Now fast forward. Charlie Kirk is killed. ABC airs Jimmy Kimmel's monologue, and suddenly the FCC chair, Brendan Carr, pops up like a hall monitor with a vendetta. He doesn't just criticize Kimmel's jokes, he suggests ABC affiliates could face fines, loss of tax perks, or even license revocation if they keep airing him. Now that's not Starbucks saying, "Hey, don't embarrass us." That's Uncle Sam saying, "Repeat after me. Our message or else." Even Ted Cruz, yes, Ted Cancun Cruz, called that dangerous and mafioso politics. When Cruz is the voice of reason, you know you've jumped the shark. Here's the bumper sticker version. Starbucks fires you? That's capitalism. FCC threatens your license? That's government with a crowbar to your kneecaps. When Starbucks fires you, it's embarrassing. When the FCC fires you, it's authoritarianism in a suit. And here's the dangerous part. When politicians discover they can score points by wielding government power against speech, they never, ever stop at one target. Today, it's Jimmy Kimmel. Tomorrow, it's anyone who criticizes the wrong person at the wrong time. Now, let's move to the moral math. Criticism is fine. You want to say Charlie Kirk's ideas are bad? Do it. That's debate. That's the marketplace of ideas. Call him wrong. Call him dangerous. Call him a grifter. Bring your best arguments. Celebrating his murder is not. That's not edgy. That's not speaking truth to power. That's cruelty with Wi-Fi. If your politics requires you to cheer a corpse, your politics isn't politics anymore. It's a death cult with merch. But here's where it gets even messier. Enter J.D. Vance. A few months ago, Vance was out there pounding the podium about protecting free speech. His message? We can't let the woke mob silence conservatives. The First Amendment is sacred. He played it like Patrick Henry with a hillbilly elegy paperback.
In Washington, there is a new sheriff in town. And under Donald Trump's leadership, we may disagree with your views, but we will fight to defend your right to offer it in the public square, agree or disagree.
But then Kirk dies. And suddenly, Mr. Free Speech is calling for people who criticize Kirk or even made jokes about him to face consequences, to be fired, silenced, punished. So, which is it, JD? Is free speech sacred, or is it only sacred when it's praising your friends? That's not principle. That's convenience. That's hypocrisy in a red tie. J.D. Vance went from Patrick Henry's "give me liberty or give me death" to Karen at Applebee's demanding to see the manager, all in the span of a couple of months. And this is the core problem. If you only defend free speech when it flatters your tribe, you're not defending free speech at all. You're defending your team jersey. So let's be clear. Criticizing Charlie Kirk's ideas? Totally fair. Celebrating his murder? Ugly, inhumane, and wrong. Demanding punishment for critics while preaching free speech? That's not leadership. That's the very definition of government crackdown on free speech. J.D. Vance needs to sit this one out on a nice soft couch. Well, maybe not a couch, nice wingback chair. And being horrified by Charlie Kirk's murder doesn't mean you have to canonize him. You can be appalled by political violence without pretending he was America's philosopher king. He wasn't Lincoln. He wasn't MLK. He wasn't even Alex Trebek. He was a guy who built a career monetizing outrage. But some on the right can't help themselves. They love a martyr. So the second Kirk's body was cold, he became Saint Charlie, patron saint of cancel culture victims. Expect to see his face on t-shirts, mugs, maybe even a commemorative bobblehead. Meanwhile, the left can't help but dunk all over his corpse like it's an Olympic sport. And that's just as broken, because turning a murder into a victory lap is not activism. It's ghoulishness with good Wi-Fi. Here's the truth. Saying killing is wrong isn't even controversial. It's the bare minimum. And it's not a lifetime achievement award. You don't need to rename airports and carve statues to pass that test. And here's the tragedy. American politics now only recognizes two archetypes, monster or martyr. Outrage algorithms love it. Donors love it. Grifters love it. And citizens like us, we lose every single time. Because when the state starts dictating which voices get airtime, and we start treating death like a dunk contest, the result isn't a functioning democracy. It's a reality show with subpoenas. All right, so let's land this plane. We don't need martyrs, and we don't need monsters. We need grown-ups. Grown-ups who can tell the difference between a boss enforcing a code of conduct and a government enforcing a party line. Grown-ups who can tell the difference between criticizing a message and celebrating a body. Because if the only choices are worshiping Charlie Kirk or wishing him dead, the problem isn't Charlie Kirk. The problem is us.